quickly I have about the pre-clearance. Has there ever been any formal report to Parliament on the issue of pre-clearance, given that this has been ongoing for a number of years now, and indeed government, yourself, the former Prime Minister, William Marlin, the present Prime Minister, has indeed confirmed that this has been an ongoing discussion for many years. Has there been any formal information report on the study, feasibility of pre-clearance given to Parliament?
No formal status report. So, for example, to say Parliament, here is where we're at, and these are the steps yet to be taken. No, that we have not seen. Of course, the question has come up in Parliament. The different ministers have given answers in terms of, yes, we're still working on it. There are matters that need to be further sorted out, etc. But a formal status report, here is where we are right now, and this is the so-called drop dead date for it. No, that we have not seen yet, and that is in essence what I am trying to get at with my questions. What is the plan actually? Because pre-clearance, and let us be clear, we're talking U.S. pre-clearance presence on our airport, and that can be anything, in my opinion, from 2 or 3 additional counters manned by U.S. officers, or it could be an extra wing to the airport. What is it that is feasible financially right now, economically? Those are the things that I believe Parliament, for sure, but also the people of St. Martin need to understand. What are we pursuing? Some are highlighting a high cost for St. Martin where that is concerned. Is it so? And what are we to get for this money? Is it just because someone has this humongous plan for it that basically the sky would be the limit, or are we really looking at our needs right now? What would it contribute to? In the governing program of this government, pre-clearance is mentioned as a desire of the government. However, it places it in the context of the overall rebuilding of our tourism industry. So it has to go hand in hand. It is not an alone standing item that we're just going after at all cost.
Now, the issue of sovereignty, I've mentioned that indeed, and that seems to be one of the key points, especially for the Kingdom government, given the fact that the request for U.S. clearance at Schiphol Airport has been turned down by the Dutch authorities. Has there been any communication between the government of St. Martin that you know of or you are aware of in regards to that issue with the Dutch government, for instance?
Not that I know of, not in terms of our U.S. pre-clearance plans vis-a-vis the Netherlands pre-clearance plans. As you know, the Netherlands had basically turned down because they started the discussions, then they stopped the discussions based on policy initiatives from the U.S. government. However, since then, they dropped that resistance. How they have further picked up the plans again, I don't know that part regarding the Dutch plans for U.S. pre-clearance at Schiphol Airport. But what we're seeing happening, and that it is a pity that the matter of U.S. pre-clearance is now being caught up in the discussion about the financing, so the Dutch financing, Dutch EIB financing, vis-a-vis other potential financing options for St. Martin and for the airport. And I think those two things need to be separated. One, there is an agreement between the shareholder and the airport regarding the financing from the Dutch government that automatically brings along an equal amount from the EIB for the airport. There is no misunderstanding about that. What we are seeing taking place now is are additional discussions regarding, more financing in addition to, in the place of. These are things that need to be clarified. And so again, the U.S. pre-clearance has now become part of that. And I don't think that is the way we should approach it.
Now, in terms of the facility at the airport, that also is unclear. From our discussion, you believe that the intent to set up a separate facility where the U.S. passengers will be cleared. And that indeed is also a big question.
Exactly. And is that necessary at this particular time? That's one. Is that indeed necessary? Or are we going to have basically a big empty space that looks good but does not have the traction that we are looking for, or do we want to start small? Check it out. See if really many airlines are going to make their choice about flying to St. Martin based on that fact. How many airlines are out there that are only waiting for that to happen and then make their choice St. Martin? We don't know. I haven't seen those numbers, those figures, and those facts. And I think those things need to come on the table. It is not everyone on St. Martin who will suffice with just hearing it's good for you or it's not good for you. No, persons on St. Martin, including myself, we want to see the facts, we want to see the numbers, we want to get the answers so that we too, and now as Parliament, that's so important, can form an informed opinion on the matter.
The meeting that you requested for the interpellation, that would be with 3 ministers being present?
Yeah, that's my request. And again, I have chosen that route because I could have taken the same 10 questions and send them to the ministers and sit back and see when they're going to answer. But with the right to interpellation, my requests need to first be supported by Parliament. Parliament saying, yes, let's bring them in to answer those specific questions. And then once that happens, yes, indeed, it's that the 3 of them come in. And personally, I hope that based on having publicized those questions, the government ministers can get together, answer them tomorrow for me, for the public, and then we can move to the next stage in these discussions. But right now, it's becoming so many persons have approached me. Do you really think that at this time pre-clearance is necessary when there are roofs to be fixed, jobs to be created? So looking at it from a simple point of view, these are the questions that people are having, and you've got to be able to explain it, if we're doing it, why we're doing it, how we're doing it.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Meeting of Parliament last year, I asked the Minister of Finance, I said, Minister, is there another deal on the table? Is there another possibility of financing on the table? The minister, he answered me. Because the minister knew this deal was coming out here now was a possibility. Yeah. He knew it because I heard about it that others are interested, but it wasn't sure who it was. I heard there was an interest of others who was willing to finance the airport and do it. And now it come out because I was the first who brought it to the minister and asked him on the phone, and he started to smile and watch me because he knew. Because I've been hearing this talk about out there before. Believe there's institutions who are willing to borrow St. Martin money to reconstruct, to rebuild, because they know St. Martin is good for it, based on our GDP, based on the business vibe on this country. People are willing to invest. That is without a doubt, Billy. Don't let them fool you, tell you whatever they want to tell you. People are willing to put their money into this country, but people want to work with people who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's the problem we face on St. Martin today.
Leadership.
Lack of leadership, lack of vision, lack of planning, because you can't sign a governing accord and the government program tells you pre-clearance is a must. And today there's an infighting in government about pre-clearance is not a priority. That means you're not going based on your governing program.
That's right.
You're going based on what others tell you is important to you. So who's leading this country? It's sure ain't those who in there. Yeah. And I understand why Frankie took his stand. Enough is enough. I can't take it no more. Too many promises. Too many things are being promised. Nothing is being done. All we are getting is loose on our neck, choking us. But up to this day, the airport can't move forward.
And the chairlady of parliament today is saying in the newspaper she's confused.
But she must be confused because y'all confused it from the time Hurricane Irma hit St. Martin. When y'all broke up the government, when y'all put the country in what the state it in, and now it reflects into what it is.
Yeah.
Now the truth is coming out. When we told you guys, this is not the time to break up a government. This is not the time to do the things and agree on things that you know ain't possible. Allow the airport to borrow money on the free market, not on conditions after conditions. We are 2 years down the line, and I told it to the minister at that time. I said, Minister, based on what you're presenting here to Parliament, the way moving forward concerning the rebuilding of the airport going to start and must complete when election time in 2022. Wow. Because that is when you're going to see this airport, because nothing is signed now.
Yeah.
It takes 4 months for the World Bank to finalize their procurement and the whole thing. It takes another 3 months to put it out on bid for who going to bid for the airport to do the work. So you're already almost done half a year gone already where that's concerned. So all of these processes haven't even started yet. Who going to do the reconstruction of the airport? Because the bidding process, the tendering, nothing has been done.
Then when the election comes, they're gonna start it fast.
But this is what is happening with this government and the management of the airport. They are failing, and one of the biggest problems you got, they should have allowed Mikey Hyman to remain the CEO and all of that right here in the meantime and let the job get done. Because he knows what needs to be done. But what you see now, we appoint someone who has no knowledge, no vision, no plan, but are asking everybody else for their support and their help. Then ask the people at the airport to work with him to move this airport forward.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-
I'm once again very honored and excited to be a part of this amazing demonstration of selflessness and caring. Walk for the Cure 2019. The staff of CIBC First Caribbean here in St. Martin and across the region and in the 15 territories where we have a presence are committed to this cause and have been quietly planning and executing a range of creative and innovative fundraising efforts from early this year to ensure that we surpass the total raised last year. We are aiming big again this year. I am thrilled to report to you that those efforts of our staff, combined with the amazing generosity of corporate sponsors who came on board last year, many of whom who have indicated their commitment again for this year, have so far raised over $2 million regionally to assist those battling cancer in the Caribbean. Our goal is to raise $550,000 in 2019 for the various organizations that partner with us regionally, and I firmly believe that this rate will not only be met, but surpassed this year. This is our 8th year organizing the Walk for a Cure regionally. It was the bank's charitable trust and First Caribbean International's Come Trust Foundation, that then chaired by our late Executive Chairman Mike Mansour, who passed away last December, that got us involved in this cause, patterned somewhat after the more established Run for the Cure sponsored by CIBC Canada, our parent company, in support of the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation Run for the Cure. Our own Caribbean event, with the full support of the trustees of our foundation, which is now chaired by our CEO, Colette Delaney, developed from US 30,000 across the region from our inaugural event in 2012 to over the 2 million previously mentioned. We intend to keep it growing. Ladies and gentlemen, Walk for the Cure is more than just a fundraiser. It is answering the call to be our brother's keepers. It is about providing comfort and care for many lives who are ravaged by this disease. It is about education, it's about early detection, it is about saving lives. This year, we will be starting at the new CIBC First Caribbean International Bank, our mortgage and loan center at Loana View Professional Center, Welfare Road, at number 44 to Welfare Road, over Simpson Bay Bridge, along Airport Road, over the Causeway Bridge, back on Union Road, back to the center where I mentioned earlier. This event, this yearly crusade of thousands joining hearts, hands, and I would add, dipping into their pockets, rallying for a cure against cancer has become our corporate heartbeat. It is not only my vision, but the vision of our CEO, our Walk for the co-chairs, and our employees to see continue to grow, so that soon we'll be quoting figures in the millions rather than in the thousands. Thank you so much for being the sponsors over here. Thank you everybody for turning up, and I certainly look forward to seeing you on October Day.
Yes. Breast cancer awareness is of critical importance to us at the AUC and to the citizens of St. Martin and the Caribbean region. And it's not just breast cancer. As we know, there are many other cancers that are there. And the medical profession has improved methods of treating cancer, and their survival rate is up. The recovery time is better as well. But the key to ultimately fighting this disease, especially an often silent disease like breast cancer, is early detection. The same is true for many other communicable diseases, non-communicable diseases like sickle cell disease, diabetes, hypertension. And that's why this event is so important to AUC and to our parent company, Talent. When our students go on to become doctors, 60% of them become family doctors that'll know you the best and serve a critical role in early detection. During our lifetimes, we've seen amazing advances in understanding cancer biology and in developing more effective treatments, even cures at times. However, it's the human element that often makes the difference. It's the doctor who's known you for many years, who notices something unusual, the doctor who's known you for many years, who asks you to think about doing breast exams, who gets you to come into the clinic, who reminds you to have mammograms. And it's the doctor that ultimately does the examinations when you think that something might be wrong. That's the kind of dedication and passion for prevention, for working with people in the community, for interacting with patients as human beings that is tremendously important to us. And it's the kind of passion I see in our students when they're volunteering in the community. And that's what we expect of them when they ultimately become doctors. AUC graduates will have all the academic, technical training that they need to be outstanding doctors. But they also have a commitment. We expect them to have a commitment to patients in the community that they live in, that gains the trust of the patients in the community and leads to early discovery of disease like breast cancer so that it can be treated more effectively and possibly even be prevented. Together as a community, we can fight these diseases and win. On behalf of AUC, our parent company Adtalem, I'm proud for us to be part of this important event, and thank you for your assistance in raising awareness of breast cancer prevention on St. Martin and the Caribbean. Some of you may know that AUC is committed to community engagement, and as such, we've created a department of such. The purpose of this is to engage with people in the community, to listen, to create forum, to hear what is important to our local community, and then to develop programs in conjunction with the community, with the government, that tries to address those needs, and ultimately to hold ourselves accountable to demonstrating evidence of the fact that we've done something to better the community in which we live in. Dr. Golden Jackson, who's here with me today, is in charge of that program for AUC, and I've asked her to just briefly make a couple of comments. She's an assistant dean and in charge of our community engagement program.
I made closing remarks on Monday for the closing of Parliament, not knowing what was actually coming right after me in terms of the bomb that was dropped there that turned out to be diffused quite quickly since the MP has pledged to work with the coalition or open to work with the coalition. I think it still leaves enough room for wiggling, but it is clear that the same lack of cohesion he's talking about, the same outside forces continue to plague and will continue whether he is within the coalition or cooperating from outside of the coalition. I am concerned, the National Alliance is also concerned about the integrity of those who even claim to be of the highest integral level within this government. I'm talking about the Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports. He has been recorded as saying on live interview that yes, he knows there's trouble and whatever, but stability is more important to him at this time. Now, are you trying to tell us here in the opposition, the people of the public of St. Martin, that the stability of this government is more important than the integrity thereof? I beg to differ, and I believe all of us would not think that that would come out of the mouth of that member of the Council of Ministers. But then when we see promises being made even in an urgent meeting that was called as to the status of our schools, etc., and ending of needed programs, that the minister promised to be back within a week, and we're now into week 3. This is a meeting week. It will be over tomorrow, and it has to yet be rescheduled to continue. But it's urgent. Our vulnerable children are constantly being plagued by the ills and the challenges in public school, as are the teachers and staff. Yet it is not urgent enough for whether it is a sit-in 7 to mandate that it be scheduled as soon as possible so that minister can come in and answer.
And neither has the information he promised been sent to Parliament ahead of time, as was promised, within a couple of days, he had said, because he has those reports. Why are these things being withheld? Lack of information, lack of cohesion, lack of integrity, and then we see now that the stability is also gravely lacking. These things all point to a serious, serious problem in St. Martin, and I think this problem should be resolved sooner rather than later.
The managing director, the CEO said to the board, one of the board members, "Dear Mr. Hodge, as per the fiasco," and this is what he called a presentation by a member of the Council of Ministers, the shareholder representative. He is calling it a fiasco. It's not my words. It's the words of Brian Mingo, the CEO. And this is what the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance is taking part in. He said, as per the fiasco caused from the article released today, it clearly shows the damage PJIAH has caused to our reputation both in New York and The Hague. He says, the unrest and uncertainty regarding the unconfirmed and premature option about a funding proposal for a corporate funding of $100 million, and hurrah about it being available within a few weeks. A clear picture of how naive we are, especially if we know that such type of funding needs multiple approval. Hope you can ask PJIAH to refrain from such damaging practices, since I am now faced with the damage control. Regards, Brian Mingo. You are faced with damage control because you lied to the people of St. Martin, you lied to Parliament, and you lied to the airport staff, you lied to the board members, and simply put, you cannot be trusted. This government cannot be trusted. A deceitful government, and they continue to hide things from the general public, and they continue to hide things from Member of Parliament, and whole and behold, this government is against the prosperity and the growth of this country.